Hello and welcome back to the first and only edition of Politicast.
The new and exciting show about politics.
Now, on today's agenda, we have a riveting discussion about voter participation.
Well, that sounds absolutely fascinating.
Indeed. Our main topic is how media and political parties influence voter participation.
That's right. In order to answer this question, both Henry and I have conducted a series of interviews as well as weeks worth of outside research.
You betcha. Our questions were specifically designed to help us get a snapshot of what exactly is happening in our modern political era of non-participation.
Well, according to a Pew Research study, it was found that voter participation in this country is nothing short of disappointing.
So one of our questions was designed to help address this exact issue. Our last question reads, do you believe that your party encourages voting, or is participation less emphasized than campaigning?
Interestingly, the Republican interviewees responded that parties encourage campaigning, while Democrats believe parties encourage voting.
Yeah, I interviewed those Democrats, but the way they spinned it was interesting. They say they want to increase voter turnout because it helps their party. They didn't even deny that voter participation helps them. Basically, they want to increase voter turnout to win elections, which blurs the line between encouraging voting and campaigning.
Reasons as to why this is are very unclear. However, through some inferring, it is possible to try and identify some of the root causes. For example, our interviews came from two different ideological backgrounds and both responded in somewhat similar ways. This shows that there is definitely a problem within our political parties.
The answer lies within the question itself, and is simply that parties need people to vote for them. They don't need 100% participation to win. They just need a high percentage of their base to win.
Now, whether this is a conscious decision or not is an ethical issue, but the very fact that it is occurring indicates a need for change.
There's another factor at play here that we've not even examined, though, John. The media.
Excellent point. There is no doubt that they are a major player in this growing non-voter epidemic.
Partisan media is another thing that our interviewees had in common.
On a study conducted by journalism.com, it was found that partisan news sources were some, if not the largest corporate news entities in the United States.
While these organizations claim neutrality, it is clear to see that they have a harsh partisan swing.
But how is there a connection between leaning a particular direction and voter participation?
Well, media has the unique ability to frame candidates. This phenomenon is especially prevalent in election years such as this one.
But Henry, what exactly is framing?
Well, it is using techniques such as loaded terminology, misleading sound bites, or just spinning the story in a positive or negative light.
I mean, that's great and all, but what does this have to do with voter participation?
I'm glad you asked. You see, according to our interview data, it can be seen that there are candidates that people will simply not vote for. This is something that the media plays a huge role in. In other words, the media is essentially able to control the public perception of a candidate.
Therefore, if they negatively portray someone, it is possible that they are putting voters off to voting in general.
Exactly. In this age of diametrically opposed political parties and candidate-focused politics, all it takes is the wrong candidate being nominated or some kind of overhyped scandal to dissuade voters from turning up to the polls.
Listeners at home, I'm sure you are 100% aware of who we are talking about right now, and that is none other than Donald J. Trump.
The year 2016 kind of throws out all conventional knowledge about politics out the window. It's basically a new game right now. And so this media dissuading Donald Trump, it's seen on both sides, really. It's Fox News and MSNBC, CNN. They're all jumping on the Donald Trump hate train. It's really not a partisan thing. It's a media versus Trump thing.
And with that comes interesting splits within political parties. For example, my mother, a moderate Republican, has stated, as we are about to show you now in this soundbite, that if Donald Trump is elected, she will have no choice but to vote for a party she's never voted for in her life.
Let's jump to the clip.
In the general election, is there a candidate you simply not vote for?
Yes, Donald Trump.
Would you vote for the other party then?
Yes, I would.
Thanks, Mom. That was really interesting insight.
Well, that's our show today. Thank you so much for listening.
We hope you learned something, and as always,
Obama is a lizard person for sure.